What's good, everyone? It's your boy Sifu G, the Esoteric Warrior. Hope everyone's having a lovely evening. Before we start, I'd just like to wish everyone a happy new year, and I hope this new year, 2025, brings everyone a lot of love, peace, happiness, and prosperity. That being said, it's a crazy time of year during the holidays, so please take care on the roads. Don't drink and drive, and always look out for your loved ones when you're out and about, because there's a lot of drunks and weirdos out there. But to kick this off for the New Year's Eve, I thought there's nothing better than the scary Hat Man. And this is my paranormal encounter with the Hat Man. I don't know if any of you guys have ever had a Hat Man experience. It is absolutely terrifying. I'm not going to lie, right? Because it was super scary. Because everyone's heard of sleep paralysis, of course, right? There's been a lot of studies and scientific studies done on this. And that being said, something popped up on my YouTube channel, and I haven't yet watched it. It's called the Nightmare Documentary. Has anyone seen that? Leave a comment if anyone's seen the Nightmare Documentary. I think it's for free on YouTube. I think they talk about the Hat Man in that. Uh, but let's get on with the story. Alright, so this happened in around 2002 or 2003. My ex-wife, or my partner at the time, were asleep, and have you ever been asleep and you've woken up, or you're about to wake up knowing that there's something wrong, something's just not right, or there's someone watching you, but you're not sure, but you're not, you are a bit scared to look because it's a different type of fear. This is what happened, and I could tell that there was something in the room at the time before I woke up. Now, a lot of people have had the Hat Man visitation. I don't know where this comes from, but a lot of people are having Hat Man encounters. And I was asleep, my partner was beside me, and the the room's dark. I was on the left side of the bed. The window is on my side of the room. The door's on the right hand side, on the inside of the bed of my ex wife. So I'm asleep, and I just had this fear. I didn't want to open my eyes, but it wasn't a fear of, oh, someone's in my room, because if it was just an ordinary human, I would attend to that, and I'm always prepared for that type of scenario, right? And I'll deal with it. But this was a different type of fear, people. Like this was on a different level. I don't know if you guys have had it. If you have, I'd still love to read your comments, because it's a different fear level, man. It's super strange. And anyway, I know I wasn't asleep, because this was real. This was like absolutely real, like happening in front of me. It wasn't as if I'm dreaming it. Anyway, I've opened my eyes slowly, and there's this dark shadow figure that you could see the outline, but the room was dark, and this was darker than dark. It was the blackest of black. It was evil. It was just terrifying. And from the time that I opened my eyes, I was then frozen. I'm looking at it, and it had this big, massive top hat, a long coat, and it's standing at the end of the bed just staring at me, and it had these glowing red eyes. You could not forget the glowing red eyes just piercing at me. It didn't make a sound, didn't even move, just was staring at me. But that stare was just pure fucking evil. It was something else. And the coat was it was like a leathery old coat, and it had all these buckles hanging off it, chains and little buckles. The hat was long and matted and all torn, and it was like a long top hat but with a point, like a kind of like a wizard, if you know what I mean, but not so much like a wizard hat. But it was a top hat, but it came to a bit of a point, and I couldn't move. I was frozen, stiff, and I'm trying to yell to wake up my partner, and I couldn't move. I couldn't yell, and the pressure I felt this pressure pushing on the body, where it was like I was getting pushed into the bed, and I'm thinking, like, every part of me was fighting to get up and to wake up my partner, to protect her, but I just couldn't move, couldn't scream, couldn't do anything except stare directly at this thing, the Hat Man. And then after, it felt like eternity that I was stuck there staring at this thing. And by the time I had finished, and it dissipated with a black smoke into the wooden floor at the end of the bed, kind of evaporated. And then it kind of, whatever happened, it released, and I was able to sit up and breathe, and then that time I thought, was it a dream? Like, it's in such a weird, you're in such a weird state that you're not sure at the end if you was dreaming it, or I was trying to convince myself, I guess, that I was dreaming it, but I know in my heart of hearts that I was staring at something, and I was wide awake, because the time it released me, I sat up and I was staring at this thing, and I just watched the smoke just get sucked into the wooden floorboard, and then I fell back, and I was so exhausted from the struggle. I remember I was covered wet in sweat, but I crashed out straight away like it was a dream. Anyway, I must have went back to sleep, and then I was sleeping, and then my partner woke up around 3 or 4 o'clock, and she said I was sitting up, and I was looking out the window pointing with my eyes open, and I was talking in a different language. She said it sounded ancient, but she's quite intelligent, and she knows what different languages are. Like, if she heard it was French or Italian or Spanish or Mexican, she would know the difference, right? We all do in a certain way. Like, yeah, that sounds like Russian, or that sounds like Chinese. Like, you know, via experience and wisdom of living, right? But she said this sounded like an ancient language, and she was like, okay, Gary, she was trying to snap me out of it, and I was just pointing out the window, and I was talking in this language that she said it sounded like a real language, but it was ancient. And she was starting to freak out, and she goes, I didn't know what to do, you just wouldn't stop. And then she just decided to grab me and push me back down on the bed, and I closed my eyes and went back to sleep. that kind of freaked her out, and probably would, right? But when I woke up, I remember, and I still remember this hat man, what it looked like. I did a little bit of AI to try and make one to see if I can replica what it looked like. That's the best I could do. It was very similar. Had the red eyes. It was dark as dark. In the hallway, we had a fish tank. So the fish tank light in the hallway coming through the bedroom door, it blocked all that out. Right, so it wasn't a dream. I'm guarantee. And I don't think. Well, could sleep paralysis be part of what I was experiencing? Like, I know I was paralyzed, that's for sure, just in the fear or whatever it was like pure evil. I've never had something so intense like that. And that, my mother also had an experience. Mum and Dad went away about 20 years ago for a little trip a little bit further up north for a couple of weeks, and they're in a hotel room. And when I told Mum about this hat man experience, she goes, I had something similar to that too, where I was, she goes, the person was all black and standing there at the end of the bed, and she was frozen, she couldn't move, she couldn't talk as well. And I said, did it have a long coat? And that, she goes, yeah, it kind of had a real dusty, ugly looking long coat. I said, did it have a hat? She goes, I'm not sure, I can't remember, but could this be a family type of curse? Could this be something that's passed down in generations? I don't know. I'm going to have to look into it. I haven't truly looked into it. Or this documentary called The Nightmare Documentary. I might watch that tonight on New Year's Eve. But I'd love to hear what you guys thought of that story. I know it's not a very long clip, but I thought I'd just share that and see if anyone else has had anything terrifying such as the Hat Man, because it seems to be happening to a lot of people, and I find that very intriguing that every person can have the same type of experience with a person with a hat and a long coat. What do you guys think? Is it the subconscious? Does everyone have this subconscious entity that is a hat man that experienced the same type of looking person or demon? I don't know what it was, but it was real to me, and it was fucking scary, guys. I'm not gonna lie. It felt like pure evil, and the amount of pressure on the body it put, it wore me out. That I was struggling to try and get up. Anyway, that's it. Leave a message in the comments if you've had anything similar to that. Speaking in tongues of an ancient language. I don't know what the pointing out the window meant. Was I experiencing something else? Was it connected to the same thing? Was I possessed? It was very strange encounter that night, and the Hat Man happened, and then talking in a certain language that kind of made sense. Not in an English sense, but my partner at the time said it kind of sounded like you're speaking a real language, like not just gibberish. Alright, so that's it. I wishes everyone a happy and safe new year. And thank you everyone that's followed me over this year and the last few years. I appreciate you all. And that's what makes this channel so good. I love sharing my Kung Fu with everyone. Helping people grow as a martial artist, or anything that I can help with. That's what brings me happiness. And at the end of the day, I want you all to be good at whatever it is that you do. So, Tau bless. See you next year. 2025 is going to be massive for Esoteric Warrior. Chris and I are working on the One Finger Burning Palm book at the moment. I filmed for the photos yesterday. So I'll be doing all the photos tomorrow during the daytime, and we'll be plugging away at this book. Hopefully by March, at the end of March, we'll have this book ready, and it'll be something different that's not heard of or seen in the way of healing, meditation, qigong, self-initiation, and a lot of other goodies in this book. Alright guys, so more to come this year from Esoteric Warrior, but the first book we'll be starting with to start this off is the One Finger to Shaolin Burning Palm method. Alright, all the best, peace in, much love from Sifu G. Cheers.